Hey everyone, it's been a year since the last vlog post, and there's a lot of reasons for that. One is we didn't have access to internet at all. We didn't even have access to a cell phone signal out here, and so we had to figure all that out. There was many steps involved, including having enough electricity to run a cell phone booster and an internet hub. Now, when I first started out here, there were no rural internet hubs available for this area. So I was really limited and not happy with the pricing that was available for satellite. However, since then, the cellular data smart hubs have come to this area, and they're so much cheaper, and I'm happy with the pricing. And we were able to get the cell phone booster set up, so we now have cell signal both in the house and in the cars, but we don't have cell phone signal for the rest of the property. We didn't buy a strong enough booster and don't intend to. It's nice to have a quiet yard when you're working with the animals and in the garden. So we got that all set up. The smart hub's working great. So we have Wi-Fi now. We still have some more electrical capacity issues to pan out. We're not running AC yet. We are running almost everything on DC. And then when we run the generator to help charge the batteries, because it's winter in the northern hemisphere and it's not enough, even on solar to power the house. So we run the generator, and that's when we're able to turn on the internet, which is fine. We've been living without it for a year and a half, and that's been going fine. So now it's just really a blessing to have access to the internet. So we can start the vlog again because I can upload videos, which is fabulous because there's been enough progress on the homestead that there's stuff to share now, and there's projects that are underway, some of them partially completed and some just starting, that are really exciting to share. So tomorrow we'll talk about what some of those projects are, and I'll fill you in as we go on other projects that we're going to be working on. The major priorities this year is water and water holding capacity. We've been using IBC totes and filling it up with the truck and bringing water to the homestead. Not the most reliable source. We'd really like to do rainwater catchment. Not because the water is expensive that we get from the county. Driving to get it is expensive in my old beater. And it's really putting a lot of wear and tear on my truck. So we're going to work on water storage and catchment, and I'm going to share those plans. I'm really excited about those plans. Cheap water storage capacity and having a cistern that works for where I am but doesn't cost a lot has been a real conundrum for me. Until I pay off this land, I'm not willing to put in huge permanent expenses into the land. So we've come up with a fantastic option that I'll share with you sometime soon. And it's January 1st. It's the perfect time to restart the vlog. And there's so many new bits and pieces. The primary one is that we're having a baby this year. And like maybe tonight. I've been in labor on and off for a week now. And so we're starting out the new year with a new little person, which is exciting and scary. I've had babies on the farm before, toddlers, but I've not had a newborn off-grid on the homestead before. So I don't know what that's going to look like. And it's going to be an adventure no matter what. If you guys have had babies off-grid before, you should leave comments down in the bottom and give me tips and let me know what it was like for you. I'd really love to hear that. It's not really common in this day and age to be able to talk to other people who have had the experience of raising babies off-grid. So I would love to hear from you. Some other new pieces this year is that we're not commercial farming. It's all for the family this year, which is really exciting. Last year we had a horrible growing season. We lost almost the entire market garden. We had very few things survive because of hail, because of frost, and then because of constant rain with no sun. So nothing grew. The onions ended the year the same way they started the year. They were just as small. And this is in a garden where I had a really decent harvest the year before. So it was just the perfect timing to take a break. I was in a car accident in February of last year, on Valentine's Day actually, and I'm just physically wasn't there to do any of the commercial work this past year, and I'm still recovering. So this year we're gonna keep it simple and focus on the family and our own food storage, get it back up to where it used to be with having 2 years of food storage at all times. And we're going to work on infrastructure projects. We sold off almost all the livestock. We've got some sheep left that I'll introduce you to tomorrow. And we have a couple cats, 2 ducks, 1 goose, 3 dogs. However, right now we have 2 litters of puppies that are 3 and 4 weeks old. So they'll be leaving in a few weeks, but we've got 3 dogs, and that's it. We've gone from, at the start of the farming adventure, 70 pigs and 30 sheep and 71 goats and hundreds of hens and thousands throughout the year of broilers. I'm not doing that anymore, especially off-grid, and so we've downsized to almost nothing right now while we build up the infrastructure to get everything good again and to make it easier to homestead with a baby, with things a little bit more fully developed. So this is the start of our year. The vlog used to be under the name Harvard to Homestead, and that was my blog online a couple years ago. And now you'll notice it's under Deep Roots Permaculture, and I'm really excited to share everything on that platform now. We have the website set up, the Facebook page for chatting, and then obviously the YouTube channel too. So we'll see you in many different places this year, and hopefully share many wonderful projects and ideas, designs for the things that we're implementing and integrating into the homestead. And you'll get to see a little wee one grow up on the homestead too, which will be exciting and adventurous and probably frustrating at times. So it's great to see everybody again. I would love to hear from everyone in the comments. Because we've changed names, obviously we're starting our list over again, and that's okay. It takes time, but we're excited to share this journey with you, and hopefully there's lots of opportunities for us to interact over the coming year. So today the puppies came outside. We have 2 litters that were in the house, and we have a tiny house, so that was a little bit much. So this is the first day the puppies are outside, which is perfect because it's mild. It's just below 0, and these puppies are quite fluffy. There's Mom in the pen with them and being accosted while she's trying to eat. So with the weather we've been having, it's fine to have the puppies outside now. Last year around this time it was minus 45 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, so y'all can figure that out yourselves. But with how mild it is, having the puppies out is just perfect, which is great because as you can hear, they get loud. And in a tiny house with 2 litters, it was just way too much. So now they're outside with Mum. They've got a nice shelter filled with straw, and we're about to put a blanket over top of the door just to keep any breeze out. And they'll be out here for as long as it's mild. We might have to bring them inside if it gets really cold, but they're ready to start being outdoor dogs. So, and these are Australian Shepherd Great Pyrenees cross puppies. Okay, so we came back to the back pasture here. So we had a cat come through here and push over a whole bunch of trees. So we've got big piles. You can see there's one that goes all the way along and around. So we've got quite a few cords of wood in here. And then there's the big pile. So there's a lot of firewood. I also have these piles around the property in other places. This is just what was pushed over from this spot. And with the firewood that we have bucked up and split now, with it being so icy, I'm thinking this is going to be drier because it didn't have any ice accumulate on it. It's got a bit of snow sitting on top, but those other logs, they were in a triangular stack of logs with tons of ice. So the snow would pile up, it would melt a little bit. It was rained on a bunch before the winter. So I think this actually might be our best bet for dry firewood right now. So we're going to come in and buck up. Like that spruce is going to go up nicely. The pine, there's some poplar in here. We do have some birch in here. However, it's very, very small, and it still had leaves on it. Like it was pushed over, but the roots weren't pulled up. So it's probably still green. But a lot of this has been sitting for a year and a half now. So I'm thinking it might be dry enough. So what we're going to do is anything that's kind of leaning out over top and isn't in like submerged in a pile, like right there, anything that's coming out over the top, I think we'll come and buck it up and see how it burns. And we'll do the same over there with that pile. And I think I should be able to avoid buying very much firewood if we were to do that. And you can see actually way down there is the whole line of firewood. So we should have enough in here. It shouldn't take too long. The nice thing is these are pretty small diameter bits of wood. So we should just be able to cut it up and burn it as is. We shouldn't need to split very much. Some of the bigger pieces, like that poplar there, maybe these ones right here, we'll have to perhaps split once or twice. And then it should be good. So that's going to be one of the projects this month, hopefully within the next week or two, so that I have firewood again. And I'm going to show you the furnace, but there's a really good reason that I'd like to be burning a bit more firewood rather than using the propane furnace too much, even though it's a brand new install. And I'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so we couldn't resist. We went and harvested some of those pine trees at the back and some pieces of poplar. So we've been burning the poplar that's been wet up until now, and we wanted to do a little experiment to see how much easier this lights. So we have a stack of poplar, some pine twigs, and then our normal paper. Now, it had been taking so much effort to get the fire started. So many newspapers to get a fire started. So we're kind of curious to see how this goes. So I'm just going to close this a little bit so we don't get any backdraft for now. And we'll see how easy this lights. And it might not. You know what? It may be no easier to light. But we're doing it with just poplar because that's what we've been starting our fires with up until now. And we'll see how different it is, if at all. So the fire, I started it about, 90 seconds ago, and the logs are already burning. So that's amazing because it was taking like 10 minutes to get the fire started before with the wet, icy stuff. So I'll add a little bit more of the pine twigs in there, but I can see the logs have caught already on the bottom there, which is amazing. So hooray, we have dry firewood and I can save myself the expense of buying a cord of wood.